Victor is unstoppable. What could you possibly do to counter this guy? I'm glad you asked. I'm actually going to help you counter Victor. As of recently, I have only been playing Victor. So today, I'm going to teach you guys how to counter him. We are going to be talking about how to shut him down in lane, how to shut him down in the mid game, and in the late game. I am going to be talking about abilities and items that work really good to slow him down or shut him down, discourage his gameplay. And I'm also going to talk about characters and heroes that automatically counter him stronger than others and why they do. And I'm also going to be talking about something I haven't heard anybody else talk about, and I think it's very important. So, is he overtuned? Is he broken? I don't actually think he is. I think there's just not enough people that know how to deal with him. I think once more people learn how to deal with him, he is not going to be as strong as you think. Hello everybody, my name is Ghost, and we're going to be talking about how to counter Victor today. So I've been playing a lot of Victor, pretty much as much Victor as I can get. I just don't always get him because he is new and everybody else wants to play him as well. So the first thing, I want to jump right in. This is my build that I've been running. Ex-Villain Ghost, Victor. It's called The Suffering. I think it's pretty good. I've been doing pretty good. I have a 63% win rate on Victor currently. The very first thing we have to ask ourselves before we get into the nitty-gritty is, in order to counter somebody, now I'm going to be doing a completely different video on the best ways to play Victor, what builds I think are the best, and how you want to utilize the most value with him for your team and for your match in a different video. I wanted to talk about countering him first because it seems very like absolute despair in the chat whenever there's a Victor on the enemy team. Everybody's like, oh, here we go. We'll just GG's go next. And nobody wants to deal with him. So for us to really understand how to counter somebody, we have to understand what they're trying to do. What is Victor as a character trying to do in the game? Well, first of all, he is going to base everything around his 3. This is called the Aura of Suffering. It is going to give 30% slow. It is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. As Victor, you want to get people within your 3, and then you want to keep them in your 3. So everything he is doing is going to be using hard cover and his environment to close the gap on people. Get in as soon as he gets you inside this. I mean, most of the time you're pretty much stuck. I'm going to be running Cold Front, people run Slowing Hex, people run Knockdown, and then this already slows you when you get inside the 3. Once you're in the 3, it's extremely difficult to get out. In his kit, he's just going to be doing a lot of damage, and he's going to be using this to follow you, to be shooting faster and moving faster, and he's going to be chasing you around until he kills you with this 3. So now that we know what he's trying to do, what should we be doing first? Number one thing we should be doing is staying away from him. And what I mean by staying away from him, I don't mean avoid him, because obviously at some point you're going to have to fight him. He loves team fights, so you're going to see him. He loves walker fights, he loves mid-boss fights, he loves team fights. He still does good on 1v1s, 1v2s, but team fights he really thrives in, because you have to pay attention to more than just him. So he kind of gets to be in the midst of everybody and cause all of this chaos. So essentially, the way to make him useless is to kite him and poke him. So people who are really, really good against him, like Mirage, Haze, Wraith, these people who can shoot him from a distance, Holiday, and mind you, they're gun characters, which we'll get into, but people that can kite him and people that can poke him, whoever that is. It could be Lash, it could be Vindicta. As long as you are outside of this 3, you are essentially safe. Now, is he going to continue to try to move in? Yes, but if you can have him burn charges on his 2, right, his jump start, to get to you, And then by the time he gets into your vicinity, he only has one more of those left. He's going to be more reluctant to use his 3 because he's not going to have his speed and he's not going to have his health from his 2, which is a huge way for him to proc healing tempo, and it's a huge way for him to sustain while he's using his 3, especially in the mid game. Late game, it doesn't really matter. He's going to sustain with items. Like right now, I'm sustaining completely with items. You can see my health is not going down, and it doesn't really go down. But in the beginning, before you build spirit resistance, which you have to build a lot of spirit resistance with him, you're not going to have that sustain. So if you can get him to burn multiple charges, especially if he doesn't even have rapid recharge yet, you are going to be way well off, and he's going to be fairly easy to actually kill. You're going to kite him and poke him until you burn his ultimate. He's going to resurrect, stay out of the radius. He's going to resurrect, and then you're going to kill him again. Obviously, it's better if you have multiple people kiting and poking him, but there is a lot of ways that you can do that to shut him down. So essentially, the very first tip that I'm going to say to counter Victor is to essentially stay away from him. Kite him and poke him, and for the most part, he becomes useless. Now let's talk about what items are really strong against Victor. Let's go through all the tiers. Right now, we are in the weapons items. Now, granted, I would just want to say something really quick. The way that Victor works is he builds up a ton of spirit resistance so that he could sustain him doing damage to himself so that he could output damage to others. Now, in the midst of that, he has extremely high spirit resistance. I think my spirit resistance at the end of this build is like 72% when I'm low health, and like 58% when I'm or 55% or something like that. It's very high no matter what. When I'm low health, it's even higher, right? Because that's how some of the spirit resistance works. But spirit characters are going to do almost no damage. I was fighting a jacked Yamato that was doing like 40k souls, and she was doing like 88 to 112 damage with her slash on me. So that just goes to show how much spirit damage doesn't really affect him because of all the resistance. So gun characters in general are very good against him, because then you force him to build bullet resistance, which takes a part of the power of his kit. Okay, so he's already weak against all the M1 characters. I was going to start naming them, but any of the M1 characters that you play is really good. Now, a couple of items that are very, very good against him. Toxic bullets is okay. It's not amazing, but it could work. But the amount of time it takes to proc and the fact that it's doing spirit damage is not the best with him, and his 2 is constantly cleansing him. So we'll talk about what the best anti-heal is against him. But I would say Silencer as on a Haze, on a Wraith, on an Infernus, on any of your gun characters, or Crazy is actually a purple item. It's a purple item. Never mind. Silencer. Silencer is one of the best items you can get against him. It completely shuts him down. It makes it so he can't heal. It makes it so he can't move. And he is just a sitting duck. You burn his ultimate. You use it. You keep using it. You keep shooting him. And he dies very quickly. I know this from experience. So Silencer is a very, very good item against him. And then obviously the ones that cause a lot of damage. Hollow Point, Lucky Shot. All of these things that cause a lot of gun damage will be really good against him. When it comes to the healing section, Healbane is probably the best anti-heal you could use against him, and it's because of the way that Healbane works. Decay is not that good because he cleanses himself. Spirit Burn is not that good because he cleanses himself. Toxic Bullets is not that good because he cleanses himself. So Healbane being something that is constantly applying healing reduction is something that is very good on him. And when more people on the team run Healbane, I definitely notice when I'm in team fights. It is a big difference. So that is something that you or a couple of the people on your team are going to want to prioritize. Maybe even get in the chat and say, hey guys, I think we should all, a couple of us at least, should be buying Healbane for him. Now, obviously you could run some of the other items and it would help, but Healbane seems to be probably the best anti-heal, in my opinion, against him. Other items that are really good against him are Debuff Remover, and that is because it is going to remove your debuffs. That way you can actually move away from him and not be constantly slowed and stuck to him. Spirit Resilience is going to be really good. He's going to be outputting a lot of spirit damage, so Spirit Resilience is really good against him. For other green items that are good against him, obviously Movement is going to be really good against him. But Warpstone, actually Warpstone is very underrated against him. Getting outside of his 3 very quickly. When he pushes in, you Warpstone out. It's going to be very hard for him to catch you, and he's already going to be burning charges. Warpstone is just an amazing item for a lot of reasons, but even more so when getting away from a Victor. Unstoppable, I think, is too expensive for what you get. Juggernaut is always good for getting your slow resist out of there. But I would say those are the main items. Now, when it comes to purple, utility is really, really good against him because if you can't shut him down, you want to slow him down. Anything you can do to discourage him continually trying to move forward on you is one of the best things you can do. And as a Victor player, it is very mentally discouraging when you try to move close to a Holiday and she's constantly hitting you with knockdown, constantly using slowing hex, constantly using silent wave. I don't even want to go over to her anymore. When you start doing that to a Victor, I avoid you, which is what you want, because if there's multiple people that are shutting him down, like you run slowing hex and then your buddy runs knockdown, and you guys are just simultaneously knocking him around and causing that hard CC, he does really, really bad in hard CC. So all of these utility, knockdown is really good. Slowing hex is really good. Now, even as he gets later and is to his max and he's able to cleanse himself of like slowing hex, it doesn't matter because he's not able to do certain movements when slowing hex happens. So he's still a sitting duck for a few seconds, which is huge because you want to capitalize on him not being able to move as much as possible, him not being able to pop his 3, him not being able to pop his 2, if you know what I mean. So knockdown, slowing hex is really good. Mystic slow is okay against him. It could work, but like spirit stuff in general is not the most amazing unless you're using like pure active utility. Spirit snatch could be good. Punch builds are back and forth. If you know how to parry, they're not that good, because this is the thing. If he lands a parry on you, like I have, when a Billy comes up to me, when a Abrams comes up to me, when a Calico comes up to me, if I land a parry and they're stuck there, they pretty much die because they're stuck in my 3 for long enough for me to do enough damage that I kill them. So Spirit Snatch, even though it's a very, very good item, you want to avoid being within his 3. So you don't want to be in there trying to punch him when he's dealing ridiculous amounts of damage and could possibly parry you. So I don't think it's that good of an item against him, but it is still a good item. Curse, obviously a good item, but it's very expensive. E-Shift is another good item, and the reason why E-Shift is good is because you're sitting there long enough for me to want to move on. I don't want to just sit and wait for you. Like, sometimes I will, but if I'm in the middle of a team fight, I'm going to move on to the next person. If somebody's E-shifted, I'm not going to sit there for 5 seconds while you come out of E-shift. I'm going to move on to the Haze or the Calico or, you know, the Dynamo or whoever's next to you. I'm going to move on, basically. So E-shift could help you in a lot of ways because of that. The other item, so I would say the top 2 items against him, Silencer being 1, is Focus Lens. I have never been shut down harder than a Drifter and a Haze using Focus Lens on me. You can't do anything. You sit there completely helpless and you die. What's even worse is when they decide to silence you when you've already popped your 3. Because you've already done all this damage to yourself and you can't heal after that. So you're even lower health and then you die to the whole team because you can't do anything. So Silence Wave, Focus Lens, Silencer, those are really, really strong items against Victor. Now let's quickly talk about what heroes automatically, in my experience, counter him very good. Bebop counters Victor very good. The reason why is not because of hook, is because of uppercut. Uppercut feels terrible, dude. If you are constantly trying to get in and you're constantly getting knocked back and you try to get in again, use a charge, and then he knocks you back. I mean, every fight that there's a Bebop in, and he's bombing you, right? So he's bombing you and knocking you back. So you're taking damage from both. And sure, you could buy debuff remover or you could use your 2, but it is one of the most annoying heroes to fight is because you're constantly getting knocked back. Another hero is Doorman. Doorman is so frustrating, bro, to fight. Echo Shard luggage right now is the meta. Every time you get close, you get luggaged away 30 meters. Then you finally get back to the fight. Victor is slow, dude. He's slow. You finally get back to the fight, you get luggaged away again. And good doormen, they will save luggage for you. They're so nice and so gracious, they will save luggage for you. You get carted away another 30 meters. At that point, you don't even want to fight anymore. I'm literally just like, I guess I'll go farm. I'm not even going to fight anymore. Why do I keep trying to get back to this fight when this dude keeps luggaging me, carting me away? It's super frustrating and annoying. Dynamo Stomp, very frustrating, very annoying. You could jump it, but you use stam, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but Victor hardly has any stam to begin with. Or he has 3 bars, but it doesn't feel like he has 3 bars. Dynamo is very annoying to go against. Great Talon traps are annoying, but they're not terrible, but they do kind of suck. Holiday, frustrating, bro. Anybody with hard CC, I'm not going to go through every single hero, but anybody with really hard CC, very frustrating to play against. Holiday, high damage on her gun, high damage and CC on her barrels. She has lasso and she can grab you before you use your 3 and pull you into the team and right away use your ultimate. Like, she is absolutely obnoxious. And a lot of holidays run utility. A lot of holidays I fight have slowing hex. They have knockdown. They have all the things that make her even more annoying than she already is. Holiday is very annoying to go against. Kelvin is very annoying to go against when he's running beam. And you cannot get within 20 meters because you are getting frozen back and taking a ton of spirit damage. Even with the spirit resilience, you still take a good amount of damage from Kelvin. And he's also very, very annoying. Now, if I will say this, though. If Kelvin does dome you, as I will show you in a clip, you will kill him. You will out damage his heals and you will kill him. I've done it multiple times. So that is pretty nice. Mirage is really annoying because he is the poke king. Even better in my opinion than Mina. I know there's an argument for that, but Mirage is the poke king. He will kite you and poke you to death so fast. You feel completely useless as Victor. Who else has been really, really annoying? Vindicta. Very annoying, especially when they're running Echo Shard stake. You're getting tethered, and then they have Alk Fire. Alk Fire is really good against him. I forgot to mention that in the thing, but it is because it just sits on the ground, and it just is doing more damage to you than you're already doing to yourself, especially if you're constantly getting staked. You can't move anywhere. It's just terrible. And Viscous is only annoying because he always gets away. Anybody who always gets away is also annoying because they just leave. Ivy just flies away from you and Viscous just rolls away from you. So they're also both annoying. Oh, you know what? An item real quick that I didn't talk about now that I'm talking about that. Those are the heroes that I think really counter. An item that is very strong that I've only seen once, maybe twice, but I was like, oh shoot, that is a really good item against me. Is, I don't even know where it's at because I never buy it. Is Magic Carpet. Magic Carpet is so annoying because they just fly away. Anytime they get low damage, they just leave. And so, yeah, Magic Carpet is actually really good against Victor because you can just leave. Now let's start talking about the game. What do you do in lane? So this is pretty much what I'm running in lane. And the thing to know about Victor is he starts off really slow. He's actually not strong in lane. He is, but he isn't. If you know how to deal with him in lane, he's not strong. The more spirit he builds, now obviously you're going to need to look at the other guy's items. That's something you should be doing in general, but you want to look to see what he's building. If he's building more spirit early, spirit means more health because that means more damage he does to himself, the bigger my 2 is. So when I am in a fight with you and you trade with Victor like you would somebody normally, if you both walk away half health, it is an even trade. If you walk away with more health, obviously you won the trade. If you walk away with less, you lose the trade. Now, the difference between those people and Victor is if you both walk away even, you lose the trade. And the reason why is because he will just press 2 and get a bunch of his health back. The more spirit you build in lane, the more health you get back. And I have extra charge, which means I'm going to do it 2 times. So I'm going to get to hit that twice and heal, and you are not. You are going to have to go back, and you're going to have to buy Healing Right. You're going to have to buy Resto Shot. You're going to have to buy extra regen, Mystic regen. You're going to have to go buy items to get to where I am at naturally, if that makes sense. So just remember that in lane, you don't want to duke it out with him too tough because an even trade is actually not an even trade. Now, the second tip that I would say when playing against Victor is early on, before I have any type of spirit resistance, you should not be using your 3. Now, that's going to be something I talk about in a Victor guide, but a lot of people still do. And what it does is it is going to just burn down your health really bad. And obviously I'm max level on this and I have these settings a little bit off, but it will burn down your health really bad. Can I just actually reset my hero? So you're going to have, let's say like a point in this. I don't know. We'll just do that. And then I'm going to pop 3. I want you to see how much, look at how fast it's burning my own health. Look at this. So in the beginning, before you have spirit resistance, if a Victor pops his 3 in lane, you all in. I know it's scary. I know it hurts. but it only hurt. It's only temporary. The pain is temporary. You all in and you kill him. You 2v1, you try to communicate with your team. Hey, he's using his 3, get on him. Like, all in on Victor right now. We got Victor right now. And explain to your teammate, or if it's your natural duo, why you want to do that. You will win the fight. Because he does so much damage to himself, he actually can't recoup trying to kill you, and he ends up dying himself. So that's all. I don't want to go too deep on it. Just if he uses 3 in the fight, all in. Now, if he fully backs up and is able to get away, whatever. The trade was worth it. Because he's almost dead at that point, and then he has to hang back and buy other items as well. But that is pretty much his weak point, is if he's using 3 in lane. And also the fact that he's just slow, that you can capitalize on him being slow, poking him from a distance, doorman bells, snowballs, anything that you can hit him at from a distance and poke him is going to be really good to keep him pinned down in lane. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the mid game. So the mid game after lane is one of the most crucial parts for Victor. Now, I need you to think of Victor like a hyper carry. I'm not saying he is a hyper carry, but the way that he transcends through the match is like a hyper carry. And what I mean by that is he needs a lot of farm. He needs to be able to get some of his power spikes. He needs to get spirit resilience very quickly. He needs to be able to get boundless. He needs to be able to get escalating. He needs to be able to get healing tempo. All the items that he needs, frenzy, leech, infuser, for his kit to run very good, are all a lot of souls. So he farms a good amount, and that happens right after lane. So something that I haven't really been hearing people talk about when going against Victor is denying him souls. So it is very, also he farms very quickly. So when you come in here, he is just like, he farms very quickly, especially like once he gets going. So one of the things that you could do is go into the enemy territory. This is just a little bit of macro knowledge. If you can, safely, don't die every time you try to take a camp. You want to take enemy camps as much as possible and deny him all of these camps over on this side over here. Can you see it with my camera? Yeah. You want to take this. You want to take as much of their camps. If you see slots that are not being taken, that's the enemies, you want to take them from Victor. You want to deny him as much souls as possible and slow down his ramp, right? Not allow him to get to where he wants to be as fast as he wants to be there. Because most games, people ignore him. And for the most part, unless you're in like an Eternus lobby, I don't know why so many people ignore farm. They leave double slot machines up the entire game. They leave neutral camps up. They leave their own camps up. Like, you might, if you're, depending on what, where you are in ladder, you might have to tell your team if there's a Victor on the other team, just like if there's an Infernus, a Haze, or a Wraith, and you don't want them to get to that place of being a hyper carry, you need to do the same thing with Victor. You need to tell everybody, hey, let's all push up our lanes, right? Don't forsake lane for farm, but let's push up our lanes, and then we need to start gobbling up some of this farm. I don't care what it takes. You guys have got to do a little bit of time. Grab the slot machines, grab the farm. If you can safely grab the enemy farm, go there first and then come to your farm. Deny him souls. That is one of the best things you can do in the mid game against Victor. The second best thing you can do is pay attention to up top, and every time he doesn't have his ultimate, collapse him. Every time he doesn't have his ultimate, hunt him. Find somebody that you're playing with, doesn't matter who, and go find him on the map and attempt to kill him. If there's 3 or 4 of you in a lane and he doesn't have his ult, whatever the case is, however you have to do it, try to find him and try to kill him. Those are the 2 best ways to help him mid-game. Late game. What do you do late game? Unfortunately, there's not a ton you could do when he's late game. You can try to slow him down with utility. You can try to slow him down by staying at the same amount of souls and same value as him to hopefully fight him as a gun carry. But late game is kind of like really rough if you don't do the things we just talked about in lane, in mid game, using the utility early, all the other different things that we talked about. You want to try to do that before 30 minutes, before 35 minutes, because that will slow down his ramp and that will help him not be Thanos in late game. Now, once he already gets to Thanos, at that point, you better coordinate with your team. You guys better, dogpile him in a way that is not feeding him. But yeah, he's very hard to deal with once he gets online. The best thing you could do against Victor is not let him get online or make him get online too late. If he gets online too late, so if he comes out of lane messed up, Then you mess up his mid game because you deny his souls by taking all of the camps and doing other things, right? That deny souls. Don't let him get earn over and over. All these other things. Those will make it so that maybe you could win the game at the 35 minute mark, and then he doesn't have time to ramp. Usually that's around when it is. Around the 30-minute mark, he's pretty strong because he farms a lot. So typically around the 30-minute mark, I am around 40 to 45,000 souls. Like right now, 46,400 souls. This is me at 35 minutes in the game. 32 to 35 minutes in the game. Most games, if you play it correctly, that's what my souls are at. So this is around the point where you start to become Thanos, and it doesn't matter what everyone does. You're just going to do whatever you want and carry at that point. You're going to bully walkers. You're going to bully shrines. You're going to bully patron. You're going to bully the entire team, essentially. And so you want to try to make sure when you're looking at stuff, that is what you're doing. The last thing that I'll say about him is try to pay attention to his items. Try to pay attention to what he's grabbing as his power spikes. Healing tempo being a power spike. Anything that basically gives him spirit resist is a power spike for him. Frenzy is a power spike for him. Healing tempo is a power spike for him. Leech or Infuser is a power spike for him. Escalating is not as much of a power spike as some of the other ones, but it does give spirit resist, so I will say it's a power spike for him. And spirit resilience early on is a power spike for him. Any of these items, if you see that he has, you need to be paying attention so that way you can know how to engage with him, what you guys should be doing, and how to shut him down at what point in time. That is going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it brought you some value. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things that help you to push the video out to more people. I would super appreciate it. As a creator, it means a lot when I see comments, when I see likes, when I get feedback on the video. Also, let me know down below if I forgot something, or you know of some sort of tech or something that you've been doing to shut down Victor. Or if you're a Victor player and you're like, man, I really hate when people do this. Leave a comment down below because people read those comments and it's going to help people more than what I'm trying to do here. If you guys like this form of video, let me know also down in the comments who you want me to talk about countering next. Is it a new hero? Is it an old hero? And hopefully, yeah, you guys enjoy this type of like educational content. We are live every single day except for Sunday on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I would love to see you guys there. If you guys want to stop by the stream, I think it'll be a good time. I hope you guys are very blessed. Hope you have an amazing day or night, depending on where you're at in the world. And before you go anywhere, we got more videos over here. Check one of those out. Hopefully you find something you like. If you don't, maybe next time. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.